Hello there, and welcome to Season 15, Episode 29 of the Bitcoin Takeover podcast. I am Vlad, and my guest today is Tomek K, who is the co-organizer of the Bitcoin Film Festival, which is going to have its second annual edition this year in Warsaw, and it's going to coincide with the European Halving Party. I think it's gonna be only 13 days until this starts, and it's the best time to start making your plans for Bitcoin's halving because it's like Christmas in the world of Bitcoin. So it's good to have you, Tomek.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good to be here. Thank you for the invite.
So, Tomek, I gotta ask you because last year I was at the first edition of the Bitcoin Film Fest in Warsaw, and it was super impressive to see that you managed to combine it with the Weekend of Capitalism. So it was a combination between a Bitcoin Film Fest and a libertarian event. And I noticed for some reason that libertarian events have more girls than Bitcoin conferences. Why do you think that is? And this is the first question, by the way. And I have a girlfriend, by the way. Love you, girl.
How it's hard to answer that. I guess maybe Bitcoin is maybe a bit more technical. Maybe that's why you can find a higher masculine ratio. Or maybe it's a Polish thing. I believe, like in Poland, we have quite a few women interested in both libertarianism and Bitcoin.
It was staggering. I basically realized, okay, we're the nerds. It's probably the way we talk about Bitcoin or something, or maybe it's the bear market that's making this ratio of 99% males. And if you find a girl at a Bitcoin conference, she's probably someone's girlfriend or someone's wife, or I don't know. But at the
maybe
Weekend of Capitalism,
maybe they saw the announcement that Vlad is coming, and that was the reason.
that's when I interviewed the girls from LOLA, which is Ladies of Liberty Alliance from Poland, and they were super nice, and they spoke about reading The Fountain by Ayn Rand and
Fountainhead, yes. Great book, by the way. Have you read it?
Of course not. I'm an idiot. Ask anyone on Twitter. I don't read books.
That's a good one. Try. I recommend all Bitcoiners to read Ayn Rand. While it's not there is no Bitcoin mentioned, but I believe it's a great fiction that very well aligns with Bitcoin values.
Right. So you're doing the second film fest, and it's amazing to me that since last year, the number of films about Bitcoin that have been created is much larger. Even myself, we spoke about this before we started recording. I requested a 15-minute time slot on the open stage to show the music video I did with my girlfriend, and it's gonna premiere at the Warsaw Film Fest. You better be there. Only 50 seats are available, so you better
That's
hurry.
true. Yes, we have a community stage. There are still a few slots open. So if guys, any of you want to show something in a cinema or the film fest, come over.
Yeah, it's a beautiful community project. But why do you think there are so many documentaries about Bitcoin? And what is the ratio between documentaries and artistic films that tell a story which is Bitcoin related?
Actually, last year at the first Bitcoin Film Fest, we screened only documents. And I think that's normal, right? Bitcoin is only 15 years, so the art that can grow in this culture, the culture that forms, that it has its memes and some ethos, it needs time to be able to manifest itself in some graphic design, in music, in stories, in films festivals. So I wouldn't expect that after 15 years of having Bitcoin, we would have plenty of films realized on fictional stories. It starts with YouTubers. Actually, first Bitcoin video that we found was some guy, recording his screen, right, and showing how to buy Bitcoin and paying with PayPal. And then we had YouTubers who were documenting Bitcoin, explaining it. Lots of these documentaries from early years, and they're still being produced, are kind of general ones. What is Bitcoin? Who was Satoshi Nakamoto? What is the revolution that we are witnessing now? Then these documentaries also kind of are evolving into stories. true stories from the world, from Salvador, from West Africa, how Bitcoin changes lives of people there. We are entering the phase of more experimental documentaries. We will screen actually That Athletic. Anatomy of Bitcoin is a great project that I recommend everyone to follow. And then also, and this film festival also shows it, that there are more artistic creations, more fictional stories that are not only serving the role of informing what is Bitcoin or educating about it, or maybe when investigating fiat structures, but that the role of those fictional stories is to inspire, to maybe motivate, to show the world on Bitcoin and present it in accommodative manner. So the culture serves as this vehicle to transport ideas of Bitcoin. And films are quite powerful on that. So my bet is, and we observe it in the last year too, that we will have more fiction, a bit less documentaries, because how many? There are great already. There are great films, documentary films that explain Bitcoin. Right? Well, maybe we don't need that many more anymore. Let's explore. Let's make this genre wider. Well, it will happen. It's happening. So come to FilmFest, also see that this year it's not just documentaries, and also it's not just films about Bitcoin. While this event is Bitcoin only, the films are not. There are also films that I would call Bitcoin cinema. We, with our team and jury, we can call it Bitcoin cinema, and you guys can see it when you watch it, even in films that don't mention about decentralized crypto asset on Bitcoin blockchain, right? And this great revolution. There can be Bitcoin art without Bitcoin. There can be Bitcoin. We can actually start exploring and naming, defining that there is something like Bitcoin culture, while it doesn't have to mention Bitcoin. And I guess Bitcoin Film Fest and the festival that we do in 11 days actually will be a good example of it. Yeah.
I have to disagree with you a bit, because there was the film by Rémi, which is also the one that won the award of the first ever edition of the Bitcoin Film Fest. And it was a fictional story about Satoshi Nakamoto, which was animated.
True, yeah.
And it wasn't quite a documentary per se. It was
True,
of a way of showing Satoshi Nakamoto in our days reacting to events in his own privacy.
So it's already kind of it's not a documentary, but it's based on facts, right, or our guesses. It's a great opener into this world of non-documentaries.
Yeah, I loved it, and what I like the most about it is that it had the aspect ratio of anamorphic lens film. It was wide.
Yes.
It wasn't 16 by 9.
25 maybe by 9. We are talking about Le Mystère Satoshi.
Exactly.
By Rémi Forte, yes.
Check that out. I think it's available for free on the internet.
I'm not sure if it's for free, but you can find it in places. There are also various local. Last year at Easter, I think actually, Polish TV screened the Polish version of it with subtitles. So even they play it in TV. So.
Were you responsible for that, or
no?
Did you think the festival gave it more legitimacy?
I wish to believe. I don't have proofs for direct consequence. But who knows? Yeah.
I have a favorite this year because it's been hyped so much, and Alana has spent a lot of time promoting this, and I met her in person last year. And there's a documentary that's called Dirty Coin, and she's trying to show different sides of this whole mining destroys the environment narrative. And I very much look forward to that one because I saw trailers. She's very good at creating hype around her work. And I think
hopefully she's also good in doing movies. But we've seen Stranded, this short documentary. It's a good promise. I'm sure Alana delivers. Yes, we are premiering Dirty Coin on Saturday, 4:20 in the evening.
4:20 in the evening?
Yes, right. Who knows when a block 840,000 will be mined? It looks like it can be evening our time. it might be actually, my bet is that it will be a bit earlier, like around noon. But if it happens during the movie, I guess we would need to stop the film and celebrate halving together. So there is this challenge, right? There is this challenge when you organize this event challenge. It's fun to plan it for a thing that you don't know when to expect. But we will be there.
You have the Bitcoin Film Fest happening at the same time as the European Halving Party. And is there any separation between the two? Would you say that there are different people involved who are not necessarily part of last year's team that did the Film Fest?
No separation. The edition of this Bitcoin Film Fest is the halving edition. So the European Halving Party is Bitcoin Film Festival we screen films, we do film workshops, we pitch upcoming movies, we show some trailers, there are interviews, Q&As, panels. And the European Halving Party is celebration of halving with various parties surrounding Bitcoin Film Fest, with a community stage, with various trips in Warsaw, and some activities like bowling or rock, paper, scissors tournament or chain duel and halving championship. So we hope to deliver fun experience for everyone. It's not a typical conference, with booths and thousands of people, and you can go to stage and leave and watch. And when you enter cinema, it's a bit different. You cannot just come and go. You should stay for 2 or 3 hours and see what's prepared. Or you can go and visit Vistula River, go on a boat journey, which we also are preparing. In the meantime, the exact schedule is at europeanhalvingparty.com.
Yeah, I put that link in the description.
Oh, thank you.
And I was going to ask you, what's going to happen, or what do you think will happen when the halving block gets mined? That's block 840,000. Well, what do you think is going to happen in the cinema room, where you're supposed to just stay there? You can't go out and celebrate with the other guys outside.
Okay,
or
so let's
do you
start
believe that people will do the math and say there should be 6 blocks within the same hour, so we're not going to go see this film because we want to stay outside and celebrate? So therefore, there will be a specific film that maybe will not get much audience, and that's the unlucky one. Is that a possibility?
I love predictions. So let's go let's start with the general one. When it will happen? It will be much more clear after upcoming difficulty adjustment in 4 days. But my bet it would be around noon Polish time. I want it to be in the evening. We want it to happen at the party or in the night. We could have better things prepared. What would happen with Bitcoin? Well, I hope to see that block being mined quickly. I hope to see, surprise! Just after previous one, somebody found it so quickly. It will be a race. Maybe, I guess, the pool that would mine it would try to do some interesting, I don't know, you saw this drawing with pixels on like a block structure. I even don't know how they do it, but I saw Marathon did some advertisement when they mine block. I don't know what has to happen for it to be, but I guess we could see, like, it's a historical block. So whatever can be done there, maybe some Ordinals inscriptions, people would try to be there. And people would try to send their transactions in this block. So fees probably temporarily will be quite high. Price will be, because it happens at 4:20 for 2024, at 4:20 p.m. Polish time, hopefully. The price will be $69,000. That's my prediction, right? I don't know what the price will be, but it will be like
69 for 20 to be more exact.
Could be, yes. Probably depends where you buy it, and it's hard to bring down price that exact. Then at the event, well, if it happens during the day, like we would, right? The day before, 2 days before, you would see, okay, it would happen around noon or around afternoon. So we would be notifying we have a Telegram group for our attendees. So we notify people, okay, guys, the plan is now that if halving happens then during the film, we will stay in the cinema. So most probably we'll invite everyone to the cinema to watch mempool, and we have some visuals prepared by our friends. And hope we want to celebrate the moment with a glass of orange juice as a toast. It's hard to write, it's hard to time it. It's you cannot do countdown 10, 9. Even if you do some sound effects, if you want to, I don't know, arrange maybe a DJ, because people would need to celebrate that moment. That's also challenging. So we are planning some lights, we are planning some music for that specific moment, but who knows what happens if we can deliver then. Anyway, I believe it all will be fun.
Yeah, lots of predictions there. I'm actually curious which movie will be the unlucky one, you know?
Unlucky? Are you sure?
Walk out and say,
are you sure it's unlucky? No, walk out. Imagine like we would know that we would need to either move, for example, Dirty Coin from Saturday 2 hours later, or we would need to maybe split it in half. It's as a halving, right? And then do some waiting, celebration, and watch part 2. Well, our filmmakers are already notified of this opportunity, and they agreed to splitting. They believe that, okay, halving is a bit more important probably in this case, and nobody would mind. And I guess it's also a nice addition to a premiere of some film that halving happens. We took a little break from watching.
That makes it more memorable, right? People are gonna remember that.
Oh yeah. Okay, now let's go back and continue watching. That's great. Or let's get drunk. No.
The venue, is it still the same? Is it still... We call that the press house in Romania. It's this large communist building. And it's pretty poetic that you have a libertarian and Bitcoin event happening in that venue that was meant to symbolize propaganda during the communist era.
Well, because we are poets. So that's why. I can show you my screen maybe.
Oh, I see it.
You see it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you call it in Romania?
We call it Casa Presei or Casa Scântei. It was the headquarters of propaganda, you know,
but
TV
specifically
channels.
this Polish one or your Romanian copy?
Our Romanian copy. I guess yours is the biggest.
There is like few sisters buildings, in kind of influenced with, not built by Soviet Union, outside of Soviet Union, that were symbolizing, like, you know, who is taking care of this country back in 50s after World War II. And this is Warsaw, center of Poland, center of Europe, and our party is happening in Palace of Culture, in this, like, the most iconic building probably in my country. Maybe in Warsaw, okay, like probably there are challengers. And cinema is right in front of it, between the main train station, main metro station, and right in front of it there is a Kinoteka, our cinema. So you guys, you can enter these beautiful stairs. We hope to put properly orange carpet on it, because premieres need to have orange carpet. We also the second entrance is from here, from theater. Inside of it we have it's a festival lounge, a bar cafe. We'll have few food trucks here, and basically lots of other stuff also is happening in the palace. This bar is our outside bar. We will have also some discos here, and some meetups. Lots of trips outside of the center. We will also start from the meeting point over here. We will also visit Praga, is a district with some, well, I wouldn't call it slums, but it's the longest running bazaar in Warsaw. So it's a center of trade where there is the most Bitcoin friendly bar in Poland. We will have our before party here on Thursday. Warsaw is beautiful, guys. There is like lots of green, lots of parks. If you are coming, stay day longer or 2 days longer. It has very beautiful skyline. Not many European cities have it. It's even better than Google Street View because some buildings are new. There is a nice old town as well. Well, nice, old. It's both It's not very old because it was built in the 70s. It was all destroyed at World War II. So they were actually rebuilding Old Town and various iconic buildings based on old photographs and also old paintings. And it's quite interesting how you can actually pin down some iconic Polish paintings about Warsaw from like 17th, 18th century. And you see, okay, it looks like exactly like they made it. So interesting also to visit because of that. 2 days for visiting Warsaw is enough. It's sunny now. It's very good weather. And Palace is actually impressive. We hope to screen a Bitcoin logo and maybe some countdown, maybe time chain calendar for the halving moment. But it's also challenging. You need some permissions, you need some equipment. If you don't do it, we will screen it maybe on some of the minor walls. If it happens in the evening, if it happens in the day, we will be in the cinema. And outside as well, we'll have few screens and that will show countdown to the halving. Yeah, guys, if you don't have your tickets yet at EuropeanHalvingParty.com, it's here in Warsaw. And actually, if you guys, any one of you likes some camping and needs to take some chill after the event, as I will do, and some of our volunteers and some of our guests, we will go to Polish lakes. This is the region. Actually, this is the biggest Polish lake in Poland, and we will do small sailing trip there from Monday till Wednesday. Vlad, you're also invited if you're want to. We will leave on Monday morning and come back on Wednesday evening to Warsaw, which actually will be cheaper than staying in Warsaw. This is like such a good trip. We'll sleep on the boats. I believe like 20, 30 people is joining us. So you can be one of them, guys. Come to Warsaw. How do I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's, as I said, it's poetic that the event takes place in that building. And at the same time, Tomek, now you're cancelled by the angry mob because you're using MetaMask.
Because I also am proud to work at Alby. And well, you need to research your competition. You need to see how they handle some communication, permissions, not to steal ideas, but that's useful.
Of course, I was just half joking, you know, but there will be people looking at that and saying, hey, who is this guy asking me to pay? How much are the tickets, by the way?
I can talk about my browser extension for hours, bro. Like really. Tickets, the pleb ticket, standard ticket is 84 euros. And it includes entrances to film festival, to all of the, these activities. Some of them are additionally paid, but it covers the swag, merch bags, and all of the facilities that we will have. I think it's pretty cheap and worth it. There are also some discount codes flying around. And I think there is one Bitcoin takeover discount code. Do you remember which one is it? Let's do it.
I don't know. I think it was BTC TKVR.
Yes, I will make sure and I will write down.
So what's the discount for that one?
Our standard discounts that you can find in places is 12%.
Why is it 12?
Because it's inverted 21.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it's not 10, it's not 15, it's 12.
Yeah, people actually, there is like so many discount codes, but people, they don't use them. They just buy tickets, to be honest. Okay, I will make 21 for you, but only 5 times uses. So 5 people can get 21% discount with Bitcoin takeover.
BTC TKVR or Bitcoin takeover?
Yes, BTC TKVR.
Let me put that in the video description. You heard that, guys. Seize the opportunity to come to the film fest on the cheap. You can spend the rest of the money buying more Bitcoin.
5 times publish. Okay, that's it. Yes, guys, come get your tickets. You can also buy individual tickets to films in the cinema from cinema because it's actual film festival. But I believe most people actually come and get their pleb. You can also buy a digital pleb ticket. If you guys cannot come in person, you can show your support to the initiative with digital pleb ticket, and it grants you access to a VOD. We are also running film festival VOD platform. where most of the films will be screened, because even you, Vlad, if you come in person, you will not be able to watch everything. Like just physically, you will not be able to do it. And you and every other attendee will get access to VOD platform, where we are actually starting a test run of IndiHub. And IndiHub is this like Netflix times IMDb powered by Lightning Network, and where like sats are streamed. It's like in podcasting 2.0, where sats are streamed per minute watched directly from the platform or from the audience directly to a creator, and it automatically splits whether you have, I don't know, producer, cast, crew members. So it's like value for value in video finally comes on Bitcoin, and we are very proud to start it with Film Festival VOD. So stay tuned.
Yeah, promo code BTCTKVR, get your tickets. Only 5 of them are available with 21% discount. And otherwise, you're gonna have to search for the other codes, which only give you 12. So I'm not sure how much 9% means in the case of the tickets, but should be something. You can buy a beer at the festival with that money, maybe.
You can buy me a beer or Vlad's.
They're not gonna buy me beer, I'm cancelled. But anyway, I gotta present an ad at this point. So, have you tried Wasabi Wallet, Tomek? Do you know what it is?
I know what it is. I have not tried it. It's on like my level up. I need to step a bit higher on my Bitcoin, experience and education. But definitely it's on my list. And I met the team. It seems they seem super dedicated guys and professionals. So I want to deserve proper attention to put care to Wasabi Wallet and actually use it.
So there is this story which goes back to David Chaum, which explains how to defeat Big Brother. And in a crowd that's being surveilled, how can you actually hide? And the best way to hide is to be in plain sight but become indistinguishable from the rest of the world. And this idea goes back to mixnets that were described by David Chaum in his papers and mixing. He was a big proponent of the idea. And when Bitcoin got launched, people figure out very fast that all transactions can be tracked and it's an open ledger. So how do you get privacy in this environment? Well, the best way is to have mixers, but mixers are centralized, right? Many of them were closed down because you had people running them in the middle. And that's how people like Greg Maxwell came up with the idea of a CoinJoin. CoinJoin means that you do a collaborative transaction with a very basic coordinator in the middle. But the coordinator is just a server. You can replace it. You don't need the coordinator to run all of the operations. You run your own client, you interact with the rest of the network. The coordinator just makes sure you meet with others. And you're going to have with Wasabi Wallet these transactions where you join hundreds of other users. I think they raised the minimum to 180 participants. And the output is going to be even larger or smaller because what Wasabi does is to divide some of your UTXOs or merge them, consolidate them. And the output cannot be linked directly to the input. It's very hard to figure out unless you are the lonely whale having like 50 Bitcoin and the rest of the participants have maybe 1. And it's clear that the larger UTXOs belong to you, but in that case you get free remixes, so you can keep on mixing until you get equal outputs that are truly indistinguishable. And there's a lot of FUD about CoinJoins. Some people say, oh, you cannot use your coins on exchanges after this, which is why they added this integration with ShopinBit. You know ShopinBit, I guess. You wear some of their t-shirts.
They are our partners.
So you have a buy anything button inside of the wallet. And basically you have this terminal where you tell an agent from ShopinBit what you want to buy and where you want to get it delivered. It's all routed by a Tor. You can use a post office box and ask them to deliver it there, so it's not your home address. And you pay with your CoinJoin Bitcoin. So you can order laptops, shoes, phones.
That's a good integration. I didn't know of this.
Yeah, it's super smart that they did this. And ShopinBit doesn't care what kind of Bitcoin you have.
ShopinBit is killing it with their trade abilities, and they are coming to FilmFest with a merch corner, so bring your sats.
You can also buy a Supra from ShopinBit.
Did
And you
you?
can use Wasabi for that. Yeah, they have this car service, but of course it can't be really private because it's gonna be car ownership. So you need to provide some details. You need to pay for insurance and all sorts of costs. But they do a very nice service where they buy the car for you, you pay for it in Bitcoin, and they can also get a private license plate that's registered in Poland so that people don't know who you are when you're driving around. But you have to take your car for the annual checks to Poland. That's the only inconvenience. But otherwise, you pay and you have some pretty good privacy.
I'm gonna invite Lawrence to community stage to tell how he's doing it.
I hope he's showering in money right now because he deserves it.
She's sharing what?
Showering in money.
Well, hopefully.
ShopinBit, if you're not aware, has more than 1 million products at this point. You can even find dildos and whatever. It's pretty fascinating how much of this stuff exists and you can buy it with Bitcoin.
How much of what dildos exist, or?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I was not aware. I opened that section of the website and I was thinking, my God, I had no idea.
Okay. How expensive is CoinJoin with Wasabi?
It's 0.05%, I think, of the
Plus
amount.
transaction fees?
Plus, yeah, the transaction fee you pay to the miner. But this is only for the first CoinJoin. Afterwards, if you keep on mixing, you don't pay fee to the coordinator, you just pay the transaction fee for your remixes. So
Okay.
you can let it run like this for a week or something, and I guess in a week you get hundreds of mixes and it will be very hard for anyone to figure out. The issue is that blockchain analysis will treat CoinJoins like this black box, you know? They admit that they don't know, but at the same time, when you get out and use some sort of KYC service, they can link your input, which was maybe a withdrawal from an exchange, to the far output, which maybe was a purchase that you made or you returned to some exchange. And they're going to know, oh, so this amount came from here and went there, and then they can make some assumptions. That's the only way they can break it. But
They
if you
can
make
also
peer-to-peer,
blacklist it, right?
yeah, I mean, it's everyone's policy. Blacklisting, unfortunately, for better and worse, is part of Bitcoin node policy. You even have on your own node, you can set up a list of addresses that you don't want your node for interaction. You have these guys who want to filter some sort of transactions they don't like, and they're running a campaign for it. So censorship is optional and is at the heart of Bitcoin. It has been added to the client. We can't do much about it. Everyone makes their own rules as long as they respect the consensus. But yeah, some people and businesses especially, they can identify the source and say, oh, this comes from a CoinJoin, and ask you for more information. But if you are dealing in a peer-to-peer environment where you're paying people, for example, buying merchandise at the Bitcoin Film Fest, I don't think the receiver is going to care where the coins come from.
Probably. I need to try it, yeah. Let's do, actually, maybe Max will do workshops, Bitcoin workshops on Sunday. He will be one of the panelists there during FilmFest.
Yeah. I think so. Going into the debate between CoinJoin implementations, Samurai, for example, has constant 5 input, 5 output CoinJoins, and you're supposed to be involved in a lot of remixes to get your privacy. The issue is that it's not scalable, really. So the transactions are expensive and small. They don't really serve a lot of users. And the other issue is with the so-called toxic change, because if you have, for example, in that round, you need 0.05 BTC, and if you have 0.051, that 0001 is gonna get transferred to another address in your wallet, and you're not supposed to touch that, because if you do touch that, you're kind of screwed. You're demixing, you're destroying the purpose of your CoinJoin. You're creating a link.
You don't have to, right? You can sign the transaction out of this UTXO and another transaction out of another UTXO in that wallet, and I don't think you you have to link it when you use this UTXO?
Don't consolidate them, don't touch them. I
Okay.
think the advice that Samurai is giving to people is that you should swap that for Monero. So they integrated this
Oh,
swap feature so that
okay.
you can get another currency that has more privacy. So that's
Okay.
how they manage it. But with Wasabi, you get a mix of the entire amount. And in a sense, that's beautiful. They were able to figure out the math and cryptography behind it to make this happen.
And what is Hodling? You have this another logo in your corner. I don't know this
Interesting, Tomek.
product.
Thank you for helping me promote my sponsors.
Yeah, since we talk about Wasabi, I want to learn about Hodling now.
So Hodling.ch is a service from Switzerland, and they help you with your self-custody if you're a large business and you have more stakeholders and you have some Bitcoin reserves, or you're a large Bitcoin holder and you want to better protect your BTC. You go to them and they give you advice on which setup you need. They have the confidentiality of a Swiss business. So, of course, you pay for that, but at the same time, you have more privacy than with, I guess, European Union services that must report who their clients are and how much money they have. And they're going to tell you which hardware wallets you should be using, which multi-sig setup, how you should distribute them. It's a full advisory service, and it's pretty cool. And they are fans of my work. I've spoken with Alexander Polto. He's a nerd. He likes to play with old hardware wallets and spends all day trying to hack them. I was in his place in Switzerland last year, and I mean, we're just as messy, but I'm messy with other stuff, and he's messy with electronics,
I see.
always
I see.
hacking something.
I like the logo. I thought it's a driving wheel, steering wheel from your Supra, but apparently it's an entrance to safe, which can be both.
I'm considering this if I fit into a Supra, because that's another conversation. But when I get my Supra, I'm gonna put some logos on it to thank the sponsors who supported me along the way, and maybe drive it to conferences. It's not this year's film festival because
And
the Supra is just like Bitcoin, you know?
what do you mean? You never tried if you can fit into Supra?
No,
Man, do your own research, bro. Like before
it
you
doesn't
start
grow in trees, you know?
before you
But
start shilling some shit cars.
there are people in forums who say that you can be up to 1.96 meters tall and you
Man,
can
but
barely fit.
you want a car so bad that you never sat into? Do your
It's
own research.
legendary.
Like this, no. Not your keys, not your car. Do your research, bro.
It's legendary, man. It's in the Fast and Furious movie. It's the JDM legend. Everyone wants to get a Supra. It's 10% of the Lambo price, but 90% of the Lambo experience.
But if you cannot get in, it's like you're fanboying to, I don't know, Real Madrid pretending that you're gonna play with them. I don't know. Is there like a Supra Maxi? Maybe you should lobby for that for tall people. Supra XL. I don't know models of this car. Let me see.
They used to have convertibles with Targa tops. Now they removed that. The new Supra is made by BMW, and it's a bit sad.
So it's BMW Supra now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has the same engine as the BMW Z4, and it's not
Okay.
nice. It's not the 2JZ Japanese engine, which is super legendary from the previous generation, the one that you see in the Fast and the Furious movies. But performance-wise, it's better.
Okay, I'm checking the prices. Yeah, maybe wait a bit before buying it. But in Poland, I bet you can get a good price for Supra.
Depends on which generation. I checked out some European car listing websites. I guess most of them come from Germany and France. For the Mark III Supra from the 1990s, you can pay up to 160,000 euro.
Okay. I wish you fit in.
Yeah, I wish that too. Or else I'll just cut my legs.
Then you would need a car.
I can fit if I cut my legs, right? I guess I also need to make my body shorter, or I remove the top and I make it a full convertible. I don't know. Lots of options.
Where is Crypto Steel logo, by the way?
Crypto
Not on this
Steel.
episode. Not on this episode.
Not on this episode, but I mean, Wojtek is a friend of mine. He's super nice. He still has this promo code that you can use if you buy Crypto Steel. You can use promo code BTCTKVR for 10% off. I still have this on my desk. I told you I'm messy. I keep a lot of stuff on my desk. This is a Crypto Steel capsule. It's about 89 euro if I'm not mistaken. And this is my Nostr private key. If you ever want to post under my account, just come to my house and steal this. It's pretty good. It resists fire and earthquakes and floods.
1,000 years warranty. 1,000 years.
Do they sponsor the film fest?
Yes, they do. Since the beginning. Thank you for that. They are our, nation friends, also from Poland.
I'm super happy about them and proud that they were able to stay on the market. It's so easy to spin off forks, to create something that looks like this and serves the same function, but it's not gonna be as fine when you touch it. I guarantee you that. I did a review where I compared Crypto Steel with their most known competition, which is Bill Fodl. And I even asked my girlfriend, who knows nothing about this, to touch them and tell me which one is the original and which one is the copy that's made in China. And she was able to tell them apart. So,
they are not another Bitcoin company that decides to do steel things. They are artists in metal. Originally, it's from a family that knows how to work in metal, and they got orange pilled. And they were the first, I guess, to come up with this idea to do such backups.
Yeah, but I guess people get frugal at one point. They look at one product from Crypto Steel and then they look at the competition, Crypto Tag or whatever, and they're gonna say, oh, this one is cheaper, I'll just buy, because they're the same, right? They're made from the same material.
Well, yeah, I guess that's great. We have now choice, and I really love to see innovation in this. And some of them, I forgot which one was it, but I met at BTC Prague. Was it Seedor or was it like this other, like post stamp size? And in binary, you could save your 12 words. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I do remember that. I think it was Seedor, even though Seedor, I think, has their main product kind of like this, but thicker. I know Chris. I've met him at the booth.
I think he's chatting that Seedor is the original. No, we are all originals, guys. Vlad, but you had another. To be fair, you have some sponsors that are behind you. TinySeed, it was TinySeed, yes. You have great sponsors probably that are behind you, and I also didn't recognize that logo. Can you show it?
Yes, sir. So Layer 2 Labs.
Satoshi and Layer 2 Labs.
And Sato Chip, yeah. Layer 2 Labs, drive chains, prediction markets, poll stores. I just knocked up something on my desk.
I'm into prediction markets. That's my kink. But I didn't research much about drive chain and this old poll stores thing. I believe we can do it on layer 2s. We can do good Bitcoin native prediction markets. Maybe with some innovation on Lightning. We don't need drive chains for that. But yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, that's really cool because he has been trying to do this on Bitcoin, and I guess he hit some scaling bottleneck. He realized, okay,
yeah, you need high frequency. You need high frequency trading for having fluid prediction markets. You need cheap costs of operation. You can do maybe resolutions with Bitcoin keys somehow, maybe with multi-sigs, because there is also Oracle problem. Whatever you do, if you want to do non-custodial prediction markets, needs to be somebody to resolve the market. Maybe to decentralize it, we can use some federation, maybe some committee, maybe some multi-sig, and that can be done on chain. But this exchanging, assets, basically like shares, because you need to do a prediction markets, you need to have some digital shares, which maybe is enabled with Taproot assets. And also you need some logic. You need some either decentralized smart contract or some trusted entity that would take care of if event A happens, payout is to this group of shareholders. But it's a story for another podcast. Layer 2, and who's there? Satoshi Labs.
It's Sato Chip. They produced this card, which is a Java card, actually. You can actually buy one yourself. It has NFC that you can tap, and you can run with a phone application. What this does basically is to turn your Bitcoin into cash. And I did tell a very playful joke on Twitter when I said I'd like Bitcoin Cash, like this. You just put your Bitcoins on it and you give it to someone. It's peer-to-peer. It's private. You don't leave a permanent record on the public blockchain when you give someone this. And it can be a very good scaling layer at the local level, as well as a way for you to hide the fact that you own any Bitcoin. I mean, look at this.
How the receiver makes sure that the one who gave him the card didn't use the Bitcoin?
It has a physical seal, so you can see if it has been unsealed to get the key to extract the coins from it. And more than this, you have NFC that you can tap, and you can use this with a wallet to check the balance.
So it's like OpenDime.
It's open source. It's better than OpenDime.
Man, let me check it. Nice, nice. Thank you for shilling me this.
You can get this for €25, and you get 5% off with promo code BTCTKVR. Really cool. And I like this design. It's a rare Pepe. You put it in your wallet next to your bank card, nobody will ever know the difference. It's not like I have this Trezor, right? And I use it. Everyone knows what this is.
Yes.
If I take this to airport security, they're gonna look at it and say, oh, you have a Bitcoin device in your bag? Can you open up and show what you have there? If you travel with this, you think anyone's gonna know what this is? They're gonna say, oh, it's for my local art club. We like frogs.
There's a Sato Dime and Seed Keeper.
Create your own design.
Okay, okay. Thank you for showing me this. I will check it out.
Maybe you can do a limited edition Sato Dime for the Bitcoin Film Fest and give it to exclusive people.
That's probably too late for this edition.
Yeah, you only have 2 weeks left. But it's super cool. Check it out. I wouldn't shill something that I don't use myself.
Sidor is asking if you had Phil Henish on your podcast.
Phil who?
Phil Henish from 10.1.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. He spoke about his stablecoin, which I still don't really understand, but it was in the previous season. Super cool guy. He basically turned the Bitcoin into a stablecoin.
You have nice underground guests often, right?
Underground?
Maybe not from the Bitcoin podcast mainstream, let's say.
Oh, I do my best to have balanced guests, and it's very cool that you're the one interviewing me right now. But what's the point of doing a podcast if you're going to have the same guests you hear everywhere else? And this is part of my value proposition, right? Because the people who listen to this, they know that they're going to find new projects that they can support or in which they can invest. They can find new ideas. They can see. Basically, I think this podcast is part of explaining what gives Bitcoin value on the market, you know? It's not just the 21 million supply cap. It's the people working on it every day and putting their work into it. If it wasn't for these enthusiasts, we wouldn't have this price action. There wouldn't be this much evangelism about what Bitcoin is and what it does. And it's not just virtue signaling, it's actual services and products that are useful and that the market appreciates. So I do my best to find these people. I take pride when I can be the first podcaster to get them. And then I'm even happier when I see them going to Peter McCormack and whatever, because I know they get more exposure. And I was the one that enabled them to climb this ladder. I'm pretty happy about this, you know? People say, oh, I'm bitter or whatever that I don't have millions of views. I'm actually super happy because I have a much better audience. The ones who listen to the Bitcoin Takeover podcast are not the usual noobs. They're not the ones that are waiting for me to pump their bags and come up with bullish narratives. They're pretty smart guys.
Are you on podcasting 2.0? Do you use like Fountain and using Lightning to receive boosts?
I used to do it with my old node, but it died and I took it down. The hardware failed.
Oh, you can still use
And
it with Alby. You can use it with Blink. You can use it with
I should
Fonte.
register again. I think my RSS feed is still registered there, but I don't receive any donations because my node is down.
You can try Pot Home or True Funds. Those are nice platforms made by
TrueFans,
Bitcoiners.
is it like OnlyFans with Lightning?
Yes, it's truefunds.fm, I think. And I personally, I use, I think, Pot Home, and it has like automatic like AI transcriptions, chapter creation. It guides you through having some Lightning wallet to receive donations. So.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna try that. I appreciate every time I receive donations, but I get sponsors just to make sure I don't rely on this. And I'm not. So the sponsors don't really care about my opinions. They just like my work. They listen to my show, and that's, I think, the first criteria that I present. I say, do you listen at all? Do you care about my work? And if they do care, then I agree to make a deal. And if I do use their product and I like them too. Because it's very easy to go to some exchange and say, oh, pay me this, and I'm going to put an ad and promote you. But
you still could put your Lightning address into your description of your podcast or into your Twitter profile. So my Alby extension would lit blue, and I know, okay, I can tip this guy is a Bitcoiner. I can tip him in with one click. Try
it's
it out.
just the Puritan in me that wanted to set this up with a node, and when my node went down, I felt like, okay, it's over. I can't do this anymore. And I guess I can set up Alby. I have no issue with these custodial services because I withdraw the money anyway, and I swap them for on-chain.
Alby goes non-custodial, bro. Very soon, we are launching a new product. Not only a new product called Alby Hub, but also we are preparing a very nice setup where you can use Alby and all its perks like Lightning address and extension and nice interfaces, but still being the sole owner of your keys and managing your node. Or you can use automated LSPs. So very soon it should be much easier for Lightning users to self-custody their node without actually running the hardware.
I look forward to that. I'm actually curious to test it. I've also played with Ellen Bits for a while because I'm friends with Ben Ark. And I've also had Fiat Jeff, who is Ben Ark's partner and the creator of Nostr, and the guy who hates the Lightning Network right now. He says basically, burn it with fire, forget about it. Let's use drive chains.
I think we would hear from Fiat Jeff many more things that he hates in the future.
Oh, you think he's not gonna like Alby?
No. I mean, we as a Bitcoin ecosystem, we would hear like, okay, he has some controversial takes, right?
But that's what's great about him. I wouldn't try to silence him or destroy his reputation.
We need these guys. We need these guys for security, for yes. And it's honest. I love honest people. Even if I disagree with them.
His own mind, even if it's unpopular, it's super useful to have these people out there. And to his credit, he has actually tried to make this work and then gave up. And he's not a fan of zapping. You should check out that interview that I did with him, with Fiat Jeff. He's saying, oh, it wasn't my idea to integrate zapping into Nostr. And I'm not super happy about it because of HTLCs and all of these small transactions that go through, and the amounts are below the dust limit on the Bitcoin base layer, so they're not super recommended because people can't really swap for on-chain. They can't close channels with that amount. I guess they can accumulate more, but that's another discussion. Anyway, let's get back to the film fest. Let's read the titles of the films that are getting screened. Can you share your screen and show me and get me educated on why I should be excited about this?
Okay, so that's our homepage of the Bitcoin Film Fest, which you can read a bit more about the event, this year's Bitcoin Film Festival. There are various titles that are competing for Golden Rabbits, and Golden Rabbits are our awards given in 4 categories: best movie, best story, best short, and those 3 are chosen by a honored jury, and the audience choice, which will use Geyser to vote with their sats for their favorite movie. And here we have, I'm not super sure if this list is updated, but maybe, okay. Here we have, after it's said, it's an experimental documentary. It's actually also a short version of a longer upcoming one, exploring internet and Bitcoin as forms of language. Bitcoiners is a documentary that shows from the US, that shows some radical Bitcoiners from America and how they try to separate themselves from the state and create a community and culture around it. Bitcoin and Friends, I don't
I
think
know what
it's...
that is. I've had the guy on my show.
Yes, and Bitcoin and Friends is also an interesting case because they just released this year, they released a remake of their Bitcoin and Friends season 1 of their animated series. We will be showing the forgotten season because Bitcoin and Friends initiated the project and full season was released in 2000, I believe, 19. And then they took it out, and this new season is for some people better, for some people made for worse. It's available on YouTube. It's a great animated series about Bitcoin in Rick and Morty style. We are showing the forgotten episodes on our VOD and first episode on stage. Death Athletic is techno documentary about Cody Wilson, who is a leader of open source defense movement, and he basically is the one who started the open sourcing 3D guns projects, and he was, of course, getting into a few problems with him. He's a radical individualist and libertarian. Radical in a good sense. I mean, that's the people we need. Fighter, Dirty Coin. Everyone waits for this premiere from Alana about documentary about Bitcoin mining, and hopefully it demystifies the biggest FUD probably today in Bitcoin. Don't Trust Verify actually fell out from the festival, so I'm sorry, guys.
Oh no.
Oh no. Gods of Their Own Religion is this one is interesting. We screened it at midnight from Friday to Saturday. It's a fictional story, a bit Blade Runner-ish vibe, very surrealistic and Orwellian in a sense. There is no Bitcoin in it, and I think it's also can spark some debate whether this could be called a Bitcoin movie or not. Hodl is nominated for the best Bitcoin short, was released some years ago, but Drew Garcia, who made it, apparently he cannot come in person, but he made few more great shorts. After doing that, he actually got orange pilled, and he is a Bitcoiner now, and he's working on a feature film of long version of this great short, just 3 minutes. Lekker Feeling, you probably guys know, it's a documentary about Bitcoin Ekasi in South Africa, which is a good use case how, well, a film in Bitcoin, short film, not only can fundraise itself and the production, but also can fundraise good money for the community it's documenting. So very good job by Aubrey and Alex. Menger, Notes on the Margin, is the only Polish production in it, because not many know that Karl Menger, one of the greatest economists on this planet, was born in Poland, and he's a father of Austrian School of Economics, one of the fathers. And documentary about him was made by Polish Mises Institute. My Trust in You is Broken is
I look forward to that one.
That one is a 42-minute long premiere of a documentary about BTC Pay Server, how it came into life and what's the current state now, what values are driving this decentralization and onboarding of merchants into Bitcoin. Yes, we are all waiting for that. What I haven't seen it yet. Still waiting
I had
for
Nicholas Dorrier on my show. I think it's episode 14 or 15 of this season. Very fascinating guy.
I'm not sure if he will come in person, but he will for sure be on a screen. What Bitcoin did, you guys all know the series from Peter McCormack. They are releasing a new episode about Malawi, and on Bitcoin Film Fest stage, we would see the recap of the current season, having 6 episodes so far. Who is Bitcoin? Not many know that there is Spiral made this Sesame Street-like character named Bitcoin, and they have 10-minute short, also available online, but we will play it during the cartoon stage, youth stage, junior stage maybe, on Sunday. The Adventures of Jonathan is another premiere of a cartoon aimed towards kids aged like 8-15. It's a libertarian adaptation of a libertarian book. There is no Bitcoin in it, but there is exploration of money, value for value, and what are free markets. And probably, I'm not sure if we missed anything on this schedule, but there is also a website, European Halving Party.com, where you can get your tickets, as Bitcoin Film Fest being part of the European Halving Party, where you can get your tickets. You can see our partners. Thank you to all sponsors that are supporting us with their sats, and not
you can
only
read them if you want.
ShopinBit, Bitbox, CryptoSteel, Freedom Publishing, Quark, Bitcoin, Flash, Alby, Exchange, Cashify, BTC Pay, Geyser, Polish Bitcoin Association, and Satsback, plus plenty of our community partners that are giving us some help on the site and some shoutouts. Also media, of course, they give us some attention. And there is agenda is not only those films, you can check it out. We don't have to walk this through, but we are going to the shooting range. We do the bicycle day workshops. We meet up with real estate guys. We learn to dance some salsa. We go by bus on a retro tour through Warsaw. Yeah, there is plenty of stuff happening, and at the end there are golden rabbits given on a Sunday. You can read about these activities at europeanhalvingparty.com.
Oh, you can get a super pleb ticket.
You can get super pleb ticket, which includes a few more perks, and it's of course a show of great support to us.
I mean, the tickets are not. I mean, they're expensive for the average Polish person, I guess, but for a Bitcoiner and for a Bitcoin event, they're pretty cheap. I gotta say this.
Yes, and you can
84
basically you can get 21% with BTC Tiki VR code, so it's even.
Yeah, that's like 60 euro.
Yes. If you guys don't have that many sats, you can message us here in a chat and tell us, okay, guys, I have a sick daughter or whatever, and I'm sure we can find some better discount codes for you. Or you can help us if you want to contribute, if you want to be a volunteer, help us in any, to any extent. I believe there is also plenty of tickets for people who can help. Yeah.
We have a prediction in the comments by Chris from Sidor, and he says that the BTC Pay documentary is gonna win all the awards.
I'm not sure about that. Let's see. I haven't seen this one yet. Me and Julie are watching all of the films currently. Let's see.
Also, last year when I interviewed you, you were also doing this with Pierre Corbin or Corbin. What's he up to? Is he still part of the organizing team?
Pierre, of course. Pierre is our founding member and a big contributor to Bitcoin Film Fest. We are showing one of trailers of the film that he's almost finished doing, but apparently he couldn't make it to this festival. Maybe he will finish it by next year because he's working on a great product, and our partner is listed there. Oh, you don't see a screen anymore. Flash, pay with Flash. So he's building a payment solution on top of Lightning Network built on Nostr Wallet Connect. So Alby and a few other developers, with the help of open source contributors, developed this NWC protocol, which is probably the simplest and safest way to plug in apps to your node. So you can programmatically use Lightning Network and not worry about allowing all invoices, whether you're watching these films where sats are streamed by second or playing some game based on sats. You can give permission to use some of sats to an app with Nostr Wallet Connect, which is also a good use case of Nostr. That Nostr is just not just for social media, but it uses, basically, Nostr is used as a protocol of communication between an app and a node, which is pretty elegant, simple solution, and more wallets and apps are using it.
And that's super cool. And of all the partners that you enumerated, I think XCH is the best name I've heard.
I just don't know how to spell them. I need to learn from them.
I don't even know what they do, but
EXCH
XCH sounds like such a good name.
is a non-KYC exchange.
Oh, I like them even more now. Sponsor me, XCH.
XCH, sponsor Vlad.
So what else is there left to say? Who's part of the jury? Or is it 100% democratically voted with your Bitcoin on Geyser?
Jury has been chosen and invited to become jury. It's a lifelong position, and in a jury there is myself, Pierre Corbin, Brad Mills, Avi Bura, Valerie Bilov, DJ Valerie, and Terence Michael, filmmaker, also Bitcoiner. So there is, yes, we are voting. We have specific criteria how we want to judge the films, and one of the awards also is decided by audience.
That's super cool. So Brad Mills is coming to Warsaw, or is he just a remote judge?
I hope he can make it. I don't think he's 100% confirmed, but knowing him, he can decide last minute. Okay, I'm actually going.
There are a bunch of guys I haven't met in person. It would be super cool if they came to the European Halving Party and also to the film fest. And is there anything related to the Weekend of Capitalism this time around, or?
No, Weekend of Capitalism is this conference that I organize since 7 years in Poland. It's biannual gathering of Polish libertarian communities. And me, myself, becoming Bitcoiner, also tried to orange pill our libertarian audience. And last year, the idea was, okay, let's do a Bitcoin Film Festival as a satellite event to Weekend of Capitalism. And apparently it was a success. And it put us like in the center of Bitcoin cinema. We are trying to facilitate production and, of course, promotion of great things that Bitcoiners, filmmakers do. And this year, there is no Weekend of Capitalism. There is Halving Party. Next year, we will have Weekend of Capitalism and perhaps Bitcoin Film Fest. Next door.
Okay, so no girls. That's what you're saying.
I don't know about it. I hope people come for films mostly and for having fun. They are not, gender discriminating about it.
That's not what I meant.
It's anyway. Gender preferring, right?
Oh, interesting. Anyway, I have a girlfriend. I'm fine. It's just that it's so interesting to see that libertarian events have a very balanced percentage of males and females, and
it's not the case for all libertarian conferences in Poland, right? But I'm aware of that dynamic that you are speaking of, and also that's the one of the missions of Weekend of Capitalism that we do, that we try to give a good PR and good branding to radical free market and libertarianism. And one of its jobs is to present that, okay, it's not just a party for nerds, right? It's there are old people, there are young people, there are women, men, all alike.
Yeah, I promised people that during the super cycle, we're all gonna get girlfriends, and then they called me a traitor for getting a girlfriend before the super cycle. So now I have a responsibility for my followers who followed me for the super cycle to help them get girlfriends. And I was trying to assess to which extent the Halving Party is a good place to get a girlfriend. So on a scale from 1 to 10, what's your prediction for the average Bitcoiner to get a girlfriend at your event?
I don't want to speak about it. I don't know. No numbers to that. But if any one of your listeners is into predictions and prediction markets, hit me up. It's Tomek K on Twitter. I'm really looking forward to meet other Bitcoiners interested in prediction markets.
And if you're a Bitcoiner, bring your sister. Use my promo code to get the discount.
If you think she can meet Vlad there, don't bring your sister.
Of course not. But my girlfriend is gonna be there, and she always tells me, I have a knife. And I'm like, okay, I understand your point. No need to further explain to me.
I'm happy that you guys have fun at least.
At least we have fun all the time.
Great.
Most fun relationship ever. Anyway, what is there left to say about this event? What is it that people don't already know?
Well, people can come in person and experience it themselves. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. We will do our best to, give people the best time space to network with other Bitcoiners, to be in this beautiful moment of changing of eras, right? We want to be there at 840,000, and the halving actually hits our party. So not many halving parties are happening exactly at halving, except for ours and few more local ones. We want, everybody to feel cozy, accommodated, and friendly. It's not a conference where you will learn how to do multi-sig. Yes, there will be some workshops open to everyone and more aimed for beginners, but it's a conference about Bitcoin culture, not specifically about Bitcoin digital asset and how it works, but about aesthetics, art, values that surround Bitcoin. And that's what also halving party is, right? It's a good manifestation of what our culture is.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun. It's gonna be interesting to see after the halving how the hash rate changes. To me, that's the biggest curiosity. And if we're gonna have a very long cycle of 2016 blocks, which maybe lasts 1 month or something, if the hash rate drops by 50%, it's gonna be super interesting to see.
That's a good thing to put on the prediction market, right? And
Yeah.
to predict. So what is your prediction? What will be the low of halving of exahashes of mining power?
I'm not gonna do the math, but I'm gonna predict the 20% drop in hash rate.
From the top,
So,
right? From the top on the halving, right? Now it's like around 683 exahashes. Looks like we stagnated a bit for the last month. Let's see. Maybe we'll hit 700 too.
20% of 14 days is 2.8 days, so 3 days. I think it's gonna take 3 days longer to readjust to a lower difficulty after the halving.
So in last 24 hours, 166 blocks were mined instead of 144. So they come quite quickly recently. So looks like it will be even earlier now than anticipated. Let's see what the wizard is saying. With the 10-minute blocks, we will have halving at noon. At noon of our time, 1 p.m. But if it's a bit shorter, okay, we can have morning. Okay. Be ready for morning. That's my bet now. But yeah, let's see after difficulty adjustment, because now if the blocks were so quick, the next difficulty adjustment will be higher, and maybe we cannot catch up there, and actually the blocks will come slower. You know the game.
I just don't want to be sleeping when it happens. If it
Sleeping?
happens very early in the morning.
Okay. 108, yeah. We are wondering which visualizer to show during halving.
I think you need at least 2 of them, and maybe switch. Maybe you don't have 2 screens, but you can switch between them. You gotta show the mempool.space, because you made a very bold prediction there that there's going to be some sort of message with ASCII code that's embedded into the block.
Is it difficult to make?
It's not difficult, it's expensive, I guess.
But then yeah, I guess it's worth it.
You have all of these, what do you call them?
Oh, it's so cheap. Transactions are so cheap now.
Yeah, you better CoinJoin right now before it gets more expensive.
Maybe consolidate first, or it's like, can you like manage coin control when you do coin joining, and while coin joining you also consolidate it, right? Because you send it out to one address, for example.
It does that automatically in Wasabi. If you start a CoinJoin, sometimes it divides, other times it consolidates. It's pretty random depending on the other participants. It does some math to figure out which one makes more sense to maximize your privacy.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
interesting because it consolidates also. The only way prior to this to obtain privacy was to only divide your coins into smaller amounts. And then if you merge them back, if you consolidate UTXOs, you're destroying some of the privacy benefits. So that's something of which the guys from Wasabi were very much aware. The guy who did the cryptography, Yuval Kogman, is a very smart guy. I also had him, I think, in season 10 of the Bitcoin Takeover podcast. I'm not on his level of doing math and figuring out stuff. It's super esoteric when I talk with him, but I realized that they hired the right person to do this, and now he hates the product because he thinks it could be even better, and he wasn't given the time to make it the way he wanted, and the team decided to keep it simple. That was the divide. There's drama here also. The making of Wasabi 2.0. The great architect had a greater vision, and the rest of the team said, let's just launch something now and improve it along the way. And he said, no, we need to do this, and this.
Do you know some good also visualizers? I'm trying to explore some of them, and mempool.space, right? It's good too, but probably time chain is interesting. I like probably we can do like OBS and like put few screens together.
Let me tell you about one that's gonna get me cancelled again. It's Ordinals.com, and you go to a section that's the Bitcoin clock.
Okay.
So it's Ordinals.com/clock. And it's not the best looking one.
This?
Yes.
What does it show?
It shows you where you are. So it started from 12. That was the time. And we're about to enter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're gonna have the fifth halving. Fourth, sorry. It shows you all the information. When it's expected to happen.
It doesn't. How come? Where? It
Of
just.
course it's not moving. You need to mine more blocks to make it move.
Okay, I don't like this one. I will not cancel you, but just not my aesthetics.
It's not nice, but it's a smart design.
There was this one with like similar to mempool, but it was like more pretty. This these blocks were visualized.
There was a 3D one which had this visualization that showed all the transactions coming and the blocks. I don't remember what it's called, but it was very nice for its time, like 4 years ago. I guess we Bitcoiners are spoiled with so many cool tools.
And
People
sometimes
build them and
we forget about them, and yeah.
they're so great, but at the same time we don't give them the love they deserve. Yeah, so having party, not music festival, film festival. I'm also gonna come with my music video. Maybe I'm gonna start a movement and have a separate music video section for next year. Who knows where this is gonna go?
Oh yeah, hopefully we're gonna be an art fest and show more than films, but this is a good focus. This is something that I can see from demand that is needed, and I can see there is also things happening behind the scenes. Nice movies are still in production. There are some studios coming to life, so it's normal. This industry has to grow because it matures.
Films. So I went to my mom's place once and she was watching a movie, and it was this cyberpunk-ish movie about a man who actually had a real ledger hardware wallet, and he was holding some cryptocurrency there, and he was running away from government agents and stuff like that. But I was blown away when I saw, okay, this is a real movie prop. Someone is actually using a ledger for that. We're entering the mainstream.
What was the title?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just saw a scene and I was mind blown.
Yeah, send me if you remember that, please.
And so far, up to this point, you said it's very early. Bitcoin has only been around for 15 years. Most of the early art has only been about sticking the Bitcoin logo on something that already exists, like a brand, a meme, appropriating the culture of the internet mostly. But now we are running into a territory where artists are taking this seriously and they're building something truly original. And it's really beautiful to be in the middle of this because it feels like a cultural renaissance and a different philosophical movement where everyone is much more positive than mainstream art.
I think it's also manifested not only in films, but in some visual arts, that we are in a transition period where Bitcoin art is not like when you used to, maybe 4 years ago, go to some gallery next to a Bitcoin conference, and most of the art would be B logo somewhere. I don't know, orange bee made out of coins, or cutted bee. I'm not sure if it's an art. It's a great design. It's a craft, but it's not a selective representation of something metaphoric and concretizing it, which art is. There is no message, I guess, in it. So now we are coming out from this orange big B letters flashing to something more subtle, something that is, imagine what works better on as a delivery of culture, telling them, hey guys, this is Bitcoin here, this is Bitcoin art, this is a Bitcoin picture, or making a beautiful picture about life that is inspiring, or story is inspiring, motivating, maybe has some romance that works on your emotions. And it happens in the world of Bitcoin, or Bitcoin is next door. This accommodates more and works. This cultural osmosis works when we have more subtlety, where you cannot convince people with a hammer. You need to tickle them a bit. And I'm glad to observe that it's already happening. It's natural that this art, this genre of Bitcoin films is simply maturing, right? From this click here to buy Bitcoin on PayPal, hello, this is my video, YouTube, through what is Bitcoin, who was Satoshi Nakamoto, let's show a story of Satoshi Nakamoto, to fortunately soon great science fiction that would show how Bitcoin is used on the interplanetary level, and showing some structures of power, what dangers are in the future for Bitcoin, and also preparing us, our mindsets, to artistic visions, which are usually innovation in a sphere of imagination, right? And society changes. Not only Bitcoin will not change society only with its technology, with great wallets doing CoinJoins, which might get a bit easier to use, which can have great docs, and maybe they are legalized and recommended by, and Bitcoin is a legal tender in some country, and all this infrastructure would not bring adoption forward alone without culture. That's why also we do Bitcoin Film Fest, so people get their mindset will get accommodated with Bitcoin. So it's not just films about Bitcoin, right? It's about Bitcoin art, Bitcoin ethos, trying not to like hammer down to an audience head, decentralized assets on an immutable ledger, which is great, of course, but this is we are talking about film festivals, not about technical conferences.
Now, you made me think about what it would be like to have Ghost in the Shell or The Matrix, but with Bitcoin. And I don't want Ghost in the Shell with Bitcoin. I want something like Ghost in the Shell, futuristic, cyberpunk, but all of these hackers that are threats to the government, and this duality between man and machine and artificial intelligence, and have some Bitcoin as the way that, the financial fuel for all of this action to happen. That would be very beautiful if someone can come up with that. And something that I should have asked you sooner is that we are seeing the advent of AI, and we are seeing how great video can be produced using stuff like Sora from OpenAI. And maybe by next year, I think AI art is gonna be much easier to make and much more precise. Do you see a future where entries to the film festival are generated by AI, or do you want to maintain this pure as an art form where you actually have to interview people or film actors and use real cameras and gears and make technical decisions and edit? Where do you think this is heading?
That's a big rabbit hole that you started now. Let's try to bring it down shortly to some conclusions. I think that's, of course, great technological revolution that will make making films easier, which make good films easier and bad films easier. And of course, we'll see blockbusters where this AI is, we wouldn't probably like it, but also it can make artistic vision come to fruition without intermediaries, without going for compromises. And I can imagine that, synthesizers gave Jean-Michel Jarre ability to perform as an orchestra without dealing with this trumpets guy who he doesn't like, or without managing, 20 people and synchronizing and worrying about that. And when he has a computer now, and like his imagination, his musical taste could be manifested without studios, without camera guys. So I guess in this regard, it's we can see we can probably open up the specter of creativity and enable, because maybe you are a great filmmaker. I mean, maybe you have a great story to tell, but to make a movie, it's difficult stuff, not only on like a production level, but technical, and so many people has to be involved in fundraising, right? And imagine if you could transform a movie from your head to a screen. You need to work on each detail, right? But if you just think of, and it could be maybe possible one day, maybe you need to still use intermediary as an AI, and you don't need to use camera. But come on, like many of Bitcoin films so far, we call it Bitcoin films, but these documentaries are, even those one of most watched on YouTube, they also don't use camera work much. It's just the camera and some interviews, and then maybe some footage, cut, some animations. But it's not like, people are actually working on a. It's happening, and I believe it's happening with Dirty Coin, with My Trust in You is Broken. That these documentaries also use music, use storytelling, tension, than being just but documentaries that we are used to. So I see that in film we are pushing these boundaries forward, and AI will also do so. And we cannot give up on it. I mean, we can be purists and tell, okay, Bitcoin Film Fest is great, we just use real people and no AI submissions, no AI in jury, etc. I believe that's true, but no using AI in making your film look better. I think we could already start thinking about, once it's released, there will be lots of propaganda, bad propaganda. There will be lots of films that we don't like, there will be lots of fake videos and stories that tells stories that are not aligned with values, with anti-culture that we don't want to see. If there are stories ready to be made with Sora that we don't like, and we don't have stories prepared, we don't have scripts prepared for AI, we don't have people ready for that, we can lose on some kind of culture information war. So I don't think giving up on AI as people concerned about cinema is a just strategically good move.
But would you separate the categories and make the ones that are created with real cameras and actors in a separate award category than the ones that were made with a prompt to the AI?
That's probably a good question to be asked at the next film festival, right? So far it's early. We don't think about, like, we just put it aside for this time being. We don't have access to Sora, but probably in the next year we would have to consider that. I don't know what's the answer.
It's really interesting to see what's happening. In some regards, I think that human labor, for example, writing, can be done much faster with LLMs. What are they called? Large language models. And it's really interesting to see the flaws that the AI has, even with art generation, with still images, but also with text. It has some clear biases. It makes some mistakes. It's not there yet, even though it's pretty good. And it's better than most humans. That's impressive. But there is still a degree of human input. But at the same time, would I read a novel, a if I knew it was written by an AI. I guess I would question the amount of imagination it can have. But if it's a movie and it's based on a real script and someone took the time to explain every camera angle, how the lights should be, distributed inside of the chamber or outside, or what time of the day it's happening, and all of these descriptions and the background music, I think there's some true art to be created there. So basically Sora is exactly what I imagined when I got my hands on a Windows Millennium computer, and it had Windows Movie Maker, the first version of it. And there was a section where you could type your script just for the sake of following the storyboard. But I wasn't aware of this, and I thought, oh my god, I can type any text here and whatever I imagine is gonna made into a movie, right? I basically had the idea of Sora 20 something years ago. And it was super cool, and I'm happy I'm gonna have that to play. But at the same time, I'm worried for people who bought fancy cameras and like to travel the world and care about angles and care about the camera aperture and ISO and all of these technical specifications that make you more of an artist, but can just be typed into something that can produce the result you expect, or something that's 80-90% close to it.
Well, if someone is actually easily replaceable by AI, then probably it's better for all that it would be replaced. So
I thought you were gonna say that if anyone is easily replaceable by AI, then they're not very great in their field.
well, probably it means that it's if farmer cannot anymore sustain his living from 10 acres of field because of technological development, then it's better for him, then it's better for others that he learns a new skill and becomes a carpenter, for example, and gives a farming to specialized companies that can produce things cheaper, right? There are, of course, trade-offs to that, but I don't think that like AI would kill creativity. If so, maybe there will be always hope. I hope so that there will be always an audience for real human creation anyway, even if like all of the Marvel films will be just created in 20 years with a click of a button. I hope you wouldn't those wouldn't be your favorite movies. I hope that humanity can handle higher level of creation, and it will just if we will see competition among like intelligent beings on this planet for creativity, I guess it's only good for creativity.
Yeah, so right now I'm typing into ChatGPT-4 to see if it would do a much better job as an interviewer. So I said, you're interviewing Tomek K, co-organizer of the Bitcoin Film Fest, which takes place in Warsaw in 2 weeks. The festival will screen dozens of Bitcoin-related movies and also marks the European Bitcoin Halving Party. What questions would you ask him?
So this is okay. I thought he was listening to us, and that okay.
Oh, that would be actually cool, but I had to type this, and let's see if these questions that were, conceptualized by an AI are much better. So the first one would be, could you share the story behind the inception of the Bitcoin Film Festival? What inspired you to merge cryptocurrency and cinema in its unique event? It's a bit of an open-ended question,
Yeah, you can leave the answers also to him.
As a libertarian activist turned crypto enthusiast, how did your journey lead you to become a pivotal figure in the crypto community? I mean, I wouldn't ask you this. What changes did you face while bridging the gap between world of film and the ever-evolving landscape of cryptocurrency? You're not a filmmaker, so you're not in a position to answer to this, I think. Film selection process.
You're doing better job at asking questions.
How do you curate the film lineup for the festival? I didn't ask you this, and it's a pretty good question, but I think there are not too many of them being made at this point.
There were a few that they were just not like good enough. or mostly the creators couldn't attend in person. Those films were prioritized to be screened at the main stage. But indeed, still, it's not a time yet that we had that much choice that we were like, okay, let's take top 12, right? There was like maybe 20 titles ready this year that were created during the last festival cycle. So soon, I hope there will be, various criteria for the judgment of films. For Golden Rabbits, we are using 4 criteria named 4Es. This is entertainment, engagement, experimental, and enlightening. So how enlightening, how experimental, how engaging, and how entertaining the film is, we are with the jury grading it from 1 to 10, and this way we are choosing the award winners.
Here's something I was not aware of. I'm not sure if it's true based on the source or it's made up. So it says the Bitcoin Film Festival has expanded to many fests in various global locations like El Salvador, Lugano, Cape Town, and Madeira. How do these satellite events contribute to the overall mission of the festival? I didn't think about asking you this. So the AI is smarter than me in this regard.
That's definitely helpful. Yes, yes. We were on some satellite, on some events, on some Bitcoin conferences. We were invited to Orange Cinema Evenings. At Adopting Bitcoin in Cape Town, in Lugano, actually, our local contributors there helped us organize it together with filmmakers. And yeah, they contribute greatly to the mission because it spreads awareness of our brand and of that there is Bitcoin cinema, right? And there is Bitcoin cinema community. And some of the films get screened there. Filmmakers get some audience prepared for what's coming and to see what they produced so far. We also made some good friendships being in Madeira. Happy to participate in those events, satellite events. Not sure if this is the road. This road shop is the road for Bitcoin Film Fest. Probably one festival a year is already for Bitcoin space is already a lot. But we are happy to participate in various projects. We have some interesting projects in mind, what Bitcoin Film Fest could do instead of the film festival, besides, next to, in addition to. If you guys are interested to follow Bitcoin Film Fest on Twitter, direct message me anytime. If you guys into cinema, into Bitcoin, maybe that's the project you can follow.
Yeah. Thank you, OpenAI, for coming up with this language model that allowed me to ask you this question, about which I didn't even think about. I was only thinking about last year's edition of the Bitcoin Film Fest. But I'm very much aware you had screenings in other conferences like Lugano and Madeira, so really impressive. I'm gonna get replaced soon. My voice can be turned into some sort of AI.
Yes,
There's gonna be someone possibly using my voice and my appearance to ask people questions, and maybe the guests will get replaced too, so we can just
make AI watch, AI talk, AI interview, and we don't have to do it.
Yeah, and then
but we don't want to.
We
wanted to meet in person. I'm happy that we got online and soon in Warsaw live.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you very much, Tomek, for your time. Thank you for helping me promote my sponsors. You're very attentive to the logos around the screen.
I know how first difficult is fundraising and having and keeping a relationship with people that make business and make money. And I also know how important it is that content creators like you are appreciated by the community, because this is not a thing that you can easily monetize, while all of these businesses are riding the wagon to which you and other podcasters are contributing to. So always happy to see that there are companies like Wasabi, Hodling, Satoshi Labs, Layer 2 that are supporting such podcasters. So all thanks goes to them.
Yeah, thank you guys for supporting my show. Thank you for watching. This was not, so it's also the worst time of the day for recording interviews because the sun is on my left side and it's super unpredictable. I have to change the aperture of the camera constantly to not be too bright.
Sun, humanity figured how sun moves more or less like a few thousand years ago. It's not that unpredictable, but I saw this Three Body Problem series on Netflix. Didn't like it, but the stars were like moving like this, so it was unpredictable then.
I mean, the clouds are unpredictable, not the sun.
Okay,
Anyway,
true.
what did
It
I
was a
want
little
to say?
joke, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. Check out the promo code that I put in the description, which is BTCTKVR for 21% off on your ticket purchase. I guess I'll see you in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. It's gonna be on Thursday or Friday that I'm coming to Warsaw.
Yes.
I didn't get my ticket yet.
You feel welcome, but if you buy yourself one, also you feel even more welcome.
And I want to thank the 500 people on Twitter who watched this, and I guess it's almost 50 on YouTube. I gotta check. Yeah, it's around that number. It's not the best time of the day to record these interviews because the Americans are asleep and it's also a Sunday, and I don't think people watch live streams. But to those of you who watched, thank you very much. It means a lot to me.
Thank you.
I hope you've learned something new, and I hope I'll see you in Warsaw.
Cheers, guys.